Alright guys, welcome to VALORANT News. The SEN City Classic continues last night, the first real debut for the brand new NRG roster going into the upcoming season. We know what Sentinels Redux especially had to say on his former teammate Verno, of course former coach Bonka as well on Auction Esports the most recent season, what they could potentially do with this new NRG lineup. Could FNS potentially still deliver on what is likely to be his final year as a professional player? Well, they certainly delivered last night. Could we be looking at the best team in the Americas going into the new season? Is it way too early to say? Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate. Sensational picture here from TenZ given the context of yesterday. Speaking of TenZ though, this was a massive story actually of yesterday that I thought was really heartwarming in many respects. So you guys probably know Philip Kovalev. He has been for a little bit of time the head chef for NRG. Was making them all their meals, prepping everything, did a brilliant job, making good content around it as well, and became really well known and like well loved in the community really. Now yesterday, TenZ confirmed on stream that, because I know that Phil was still looking for a gig, right? Like he was talking to other organizations, and I think a guy in his position would be perfect for many teams, but the reality is that they don't necessarily have the budget to support it, and it's probably it's the same reason why he was let go from NRG, more than likely, because you know, it's not like his meals were bad, let's be real. Like, everyone on the team loved him. It's just they couldn't finance it, maybe, and lots of other organizations probably in a similar spot. However, TenZ has decided, because him and Kaide, you know, they order lots of takeaway or, like, let's say prepared meals or whatever, in like from, I don't know, HelloFresh, other providers are also available. You know what I'm saying, right? But TenZ has decided with Kaide that actually they'd be better off having their own chef. And I think this actually makes a lot of sense. It's, you know, obviously it's not cheap to have a private chef. Like, obviously, he can also do other things as well. He's not just cooking all day just for them, and, you know, they pay how much for the ingredients and then for his work and everything. And there's certainly lots of people that don't have much time. Certainly people who are streamers. I think it would make a lot of sense for many people. And there's, you know, lots of wealthy people in America that do have stuff like this, but you don't have to be, like, insanely rich to make this happen. So TenZ and Kaide could definitely make this work, and I think that it's going to be a great gig for both parties here. Also because we know that TenZ suffers with his like immune system, right? It's not the best, and anyone who's like, you know, dealt with health problems probably knows that if you get your nutrition sorted, at least your nutrition somewhat better, it almost always will have some sort of positive effect on how you feel. So I think in TenZ's case, he can get a diet and meals made for by Phil. I think it's going to be sensational. So I thought this was really cool, and I think that he actually quote tweeted this one as well, and kind of said, yeah, can't wait, stay tuned for all the yummy food and coming to your feed. So I thought that was really nice to see, actually. I think there's a clip I'll maybe share for you guys here in a couple of minutes on exactly what that looks like from TenZ's POV. But yeah, the Gen.G Esports Series Asia continued yesterday. T1 took down Trace Esports with their new team. This was pretty comfortable, to be fair. The first map was, yeah, 13-2 dominant. Second map wasn't quite so dominant, 13-10 on Trace Esports pick, but yeah, nonetheless, it was still a dub for that new T1 roster. Unfortunately, we didn't really get the full picture here of the new lineups, because Gen.G, okay, they've got their brand new team. They destroyed EDG in this series, but of course, EDG not with their full roster. No Smoggy, no Kang. So, you know, Toast and Potter, to be fair, did pretty well. It's funny that they call Toast and Potter like academy players, but obviously, you know, there is another Toast, disguised Toast. There is another Potter, coach of the Evil Geniuses lineup, but it was 13-6 here, 13-3. So Gen.G destroyed them. But yeah, and that seems to be like it for the tournament. I don't know if there actually is anything else to this, but it's a little bit confusing to me that in the games that were played, we never really saw T1 play Gen.G. So it just seems like they've, you know, basically a show match, right? The point really was, according to the about here, that it was China versus Korea. So pretty cool little showcase. But still, would have been nice to see T1 and Gen.G face off maybe, like rather than just split the money. Maybe they get a face off for it. I don't know. But yeah, that seems to be how it is over there. But let's talk about the SEN City Classic, because this has been the big tournament ongoing right now. People, of course, are wondering very much so what they are going to see from some of these players and teams. And as Ye says, Ye, please play Chamber, like one game, Ye, please, put it on. But no, Ye's happy playing the Sentinel, changing his role around a little bit and using other things, and he seems happier and comfortable doing that to some degree, you know, playing Vise, etc., which is exciting. But look, will Ye drop the Chamber at some point? Probably. I'm sure that Potter's cooking some sort of ideas up. But what is their team even going to look like? That's a big question going into next year as well. We'll see some examples of what that might look like here in just a second. In fact, maybe I'll just share those clips right about now. So Potter mentioned mentions here that the team that they have, Ye, Sim, and then of course the other three, Ethan, of course, is long gone. He's now at NRG. We'll talk about them in a second. But the other three of Derek, Superman, and Nature. Those three with Ye and with Sim, that is the team that is intended for Evil Geniuses. That's the team that Potter wants to keep. But she says it's not guaranteed. And at the end, she says something very interesting, which was like, well, I just work here. I can't tell you everything about what's going to be happening. So clearly, from an organizational level, there might be some interesting decisions made. Either they are going to make some decisions, which is strange because, you know, surely you put Potter in charge. If Potter wants this team, you keep this team. Surely you empower her to make those decisions. So either there's execs at EG that will decide themselves what they want to do and effectively say, Potter, no, you're coaching, we make the roster. Or it's more about budget, and it's whether they can actually afford these guys or whatever, whether they even stay in Valorant, I don't know. But yeah, Potter's words here were kind of interesting, so we'll share that. We'll look at some of the performances.
It's not a, this is the roster that I want to win 2025
You want to make it work with this team.
Yes, this is the roster that we came to this tournament, and this is our dry run tournament. With this is the roster that we want in 2025.
I see.
But the whole temporary thing is something else that's going on.
I got you.
I don't know. I just work here.
What is it? Kaide and I, starting this Monday, we have a private chef now. It's gonna be really cool. Because we've actually been doing mainly like delivery because what is it called? We were just really busy, so it's just like really fast and easy. But the chef that we have is fucking NRG's past chef. Legit stole away NRG's. Imagine stealing away NRG's playoff chances and then legit stealing their chef. Fucking. Oh.
Gotta be said, this tournament was embarrassing for Cloud9, like seriously bad. They came in here and got slammed 0-3, every team beat them. NRG, EG, Sentinels all beat them. Especially because C9, they've been boot camping in Korea for like the last couple of weeks. So you'd have thought they'd have been pretty good, but apparently not. And it was once again Oxy and friends. This is like the usual, this is like regression to the mean Cloud9, when it's just, oh well, we're back to normality, it's just Oxy killing everyone and no one else competing. And look, I like Oxy, I think he's quality, I really do. I like Rossi, to be fair, I think he's quality as well. Vic, maybe also. I'm not so sure about the other guys, you know. There's talk about whether Mitch needs to come back in or whatever. I wonder how they got on out there in Korea, what their roster was thinking about their performances, because, you know, coming in here, it was a pretty well-rounded performance by Evil Geniuses. Sim stepped up as well yesterday, which was good to see for him because, you know, there's obviously some potential there. Potter sees something in him. He didn't have a great day one, better day two. But, yeah, look, yay, top frag, 49 kills on his team. So, well-rounded team effort here from EG, and they get the win 2-1 in the end. They lost the Abyss 13-5, but after that, and yeah, Sim and Superman had a rough time game on. Oxy had 28 frags, Sim had 5 on the Jet. So there was that. But after that, the Pearl was 13-11, and then on the Haven, it was, you know, 13-7, got even better for EG. So impressive performance, Cloud9 atrocious, and they then went down to NRG. And yeah, I mean, again, this series, it was Oxy and friends kind of, really. I mean, yeah, we saw it here. Now, Rossi and Vic didn't have the greatest performances yesterday. It's just tough to say what Cloud9 need to do because their organization, given the investment they've had, has just chronically underperformed. And I know that it's early days, but this can be quite a telling tournament because SEN and NRG on paper are some of the strongest teams in the entire Americas. We know that Lev have now lost Aspas. He's going to MIBR. Loud might not be as good. You know, we are looking at North American teams again, probably, to dominate the new season. And C9 needed to compete better here, arguably. And NRG, they've only been practicing for about 10 days. They lost game one again, 13-6, but then they won their pick 13-5, and the final map Ascent was a banger, but it was 13-11 in the end, and NRG just about clutched up on the defense when it really mattered. So, but this was a big series from especially Marder and Verno. Like, that was the very impressive thing. We know FNS, Ethan, and Son what they're going to bring to the table here, and fair play to FNS. He had a great series on the final map as well, as he says, 2-1 versus Cloud9 GGs. But then the big series, really, was SEN versus NRG to see how they'd get on here. And NRG just got better and better. Like, okay, SEN didn't play their best series. Zekken especially was like, all right, I played bad today, be better tomorrow, and we'll see what they're going to play today in a second. But, you know, I've rated Verno for some time, and the fact that he's come in here and seemingly very quickly adapted adapted to the lineup and has just been absolutely crushing it. It's mega to see. Marder as well has just been killing it, right? I mean, this series, the fact that Marder on the Neon on the Sunset is, you know, effectively getting the better of Zekken. I mean, actually, their numbers were basically identical. But, you know, just because we know that Zekken's Neon is incredible, the fact that Marder was competitive was super impressive. And, of course, this game one could have gone either way, as you guys can tell from the numbers, but also the numbers up here. This was a mega overtime on the Sunset. It went 16-16. Eventually, NRG get the win. So, mega game. And then, of course, after that result, you're probably expecting the teams that won to, you know, run away with it from there. And to be fair, we did see that, right? The split was then NRG's pick, and they won that one 13-6. So, yeah, SEN is still great. One of the best teams in the world, I think, with this roster. But NRG very much impressed me early on here. Like, the Verno pickup I always liked, but the Marder pickup I wasn't so sure on, but it proved yesterday that he's absolutely the man for the job. So, yeah, and then we got this from Marder, me and Verno, you know, like, absolutely cooking together. 2-0 versus Sentinels. And, yeah, Som says, these new guys are insane. Got to be better for the future. Som reckons that he can play even better, which he can. That, of course, is pretty scary for the competition. So, look, it's still, even in this tournament, relatively early days. We shall see today what the truth really is. Was it just an off-series from SEN, or is there more to it, potentially? So today we're going to get the conclusion right. SEN evil geniuses, because Cloud9 are now eliminated as the first game, and then the winner of that gets to play NRG to determine the champion for the $10,000 top prize. So both these games are going to be brilliant whatever way they go. I'd love to see a SEN NRG rematch there in the finals, but hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.